Let's be honest. Are you getting a little tired of AI assistants that can talk a great game but can't actually do anything? Well, today we are diving deep into OpenClaw, an autonomous agent that basically exploded out of nowhere, precisely because it promises to finally solve that problem.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You ask your phone to book a flight, and what do you get? A link to Google Flights. You ask it to organize your calendar, and it gives you a 5-step instruction manual. OpenClaw is built to just completely flip that script. It takes action, it doesn't just give you homework. And believe me, the people who build this stuff have taken notice.
And get this, that's how many stars the project got on GitHub in just a matter of days. That is a staggering, almost unheard of amount of interest. So, that brings us to the big question we're tackling today. Is OpenClaw a genuine revolution in productivity, or is it a security nightmare just waiting to happen?
All right, so to really get why developers are losing their minds over this, let's break down what actually makes OpenClaw so different from any AI you've ever used.
Okay, so this is the most important thing to understand. OpenClaw, and you might have seen it under its old names like ClaudeBot or MobBot, it is not a chatbot. It is an autonomous agent. So when you give it a command, it doesn't just write back a clever response. No, it actually goes and does the thing on your computer.
And this really puts it in perspective. I mean, think about Siri or Alexa. They're basically fancy information retrievers. They listen, they go out to the cloud, and they fetch something for you. OpenClaw is an executor. It runs on your machine, giving it direct access, direct control over your actual applications. It really is the difference between someone reading you the car's manual versus a mechanic actually getting in there and fixing it for you. So you've got three huge things that make this so potent. First, local control. It runs on your stuff, which means your data stays with you. Huge. Second, you can text it. From WhatsApp, from Telegram, whatever. You can control your home computer from literally anywhere in the world. And third, it's got that Jarvis factor everyone talks about. The power to genuinely manage your digital life, from your files and emails all the way to writing code.
So, how in the world does it actually pull this off? Let's pop the hood for a minute, because once you understand the architecture, you really start to see both its incredible power and its very real risks.
It really boils down to four main parts. First, you've got the gateway. That's just what connects to your chat apps and listens for your commands. Then you have the agent, that's the brain, using a model like GPT-4 to figure out a plan of action. Now, the skills library, that's the secret sauce. Every single thing it can do, from touching your Gmail to controlling your browser, is a separate little plugin that you can turn on or off. And finally, memory. It actually remembers your conversations and preferences in local files, so it gets smarter and more personalized the more you use it.
Okay, so we know what it is. We know how it works. Now let's get to the heart of it. Is this thing an incredible tool, or is it just incredibly dangerous?
Let's start with the good, because honestly, the potential benefits here are massive. We are talking about true automation. People are using this to triage their entire inbox, plan their day, even handle invoices. And because it runs on your hardware, you get total privacy. Your passwords, your emails, your sensitive files, they all stay in your environment, not sitting on some company's server. And to top it off, the whole platform is free and open source. But, and this is a really big but, with that kind of power comes some serious risk. This is the part of the story where security experts start sounding the alarms, and for good reason.
And look, these dangers are not theoretical. They are very, very real. Security researchers have already found people's OpenClaw control panels just sitting exposed on the open internet, basically handing attackers the keys. A malicious skill that you download could easily steal your data. And because the setup is pretty complex, it is just so easy to make one little mistake that leaves your whole system wide open. Let me be clear, this is not a plug-and-play app. It demands real technical skill to set up and manage securely.
So, let's say after all those warnings, you still want in. You've got the technical chops, and you're willing to be extremely careful. What's the payoff? What can you actually do with this thing?
Well, no surprise, the biggest users by far are developers and IT pros, using it to manage servers or process logs with simple chat commands. But personal productivity is right behind. People are using it to tame the chaos of their calendars, notes, and emails. It's also fantastic for web automation. Imagine telling it to log into your bank and give you a summary of your spending. And it's even being used to control smart homes, integrating with things like Home Assistant.
Okay, now if you are going to try this, please listen up. These are not suggestions, these are the non-negotiable survival rules. Number one, Always run it in a sandbox, like a virtual machine. Never, ever run this on your main computer with all your sensitive data. Number 2, whitelist your specific user ID so only you can give it commands. Number 3, use minimal permissions. Only turn on the skills you absolutely need. And finally, monitor your logs constantly and back everything up.
All right, let's zoom out for a second. Where does OpenClaw really fit in the grand scheme of things? Because this isn't just another cool tool. This feels like a whole new category of AI.
This chart is a great way to place it. See, unlike something like Zapier that just follows fixed, pre-programmed rules, OpenClaw uses actual AI reasoning to understand what you want. And unlike those early experimental projects like AutoGPT, it has a polished chat interface. But the absolute key difference, the real game changer, is that you own it. The control is yours, not some big SaaS companies.
You know, I think this quote just absolutely nails it. This is, without a doubt, a preview of what all personal AI assistants will be like in the future. But the thing is, it's here today. Raw, incredibly powerful, and without any of the safety features we'd normally expect.
So, what's the final verdict? It's this. OpenClaw represents a fundamental shift. We are officially moving past the era of AI that just answers our questions and into a new era of AI that takes action on our behalf. For better, and quite possibly for worse.
And that really is the question this technology forces every single one of us to ask. This kind of power is no longer a sci-fi concept. It is here, right now, running on people's computers. The question isn't if we're going to give AI agents control anymore. The question is how we're going to manage it safely. Are we really ready to hand over the keys?